Hey everybody, Smart Silver Stacker here. Today is Thursday, May 19th, 2022, and we are coming up on an important deadline in this ongoing scenario in Europe between Russia and the EU purchasers of Russian natural gas and Vladimir Putin's demand that these buyers pay in rubles. Tomorrow, May 20th, is the deadline for a number of these contracts, and we just saw Deputy Prime Minister of Russia, Alexander Novak. He claims that half of Gazprom's 54 clients have opened accounts at Gazprom Bank, and the purpose of those accounts is to allow the payments to be converted into rubles, the payments for natural gas. And there's been a real lack of clarity from EU leadership over the past month or so as to whether or not these payments violate the sanctions against Russia or not. And you can see here, we'll take a look at the 1 month chart for natural gas prices in Europe. And this is the price of a megawatt hour of energy priced in euros. And you can see it's been a very volatile month, lots of spikes up and down. And this has been on the back and forth regarding the situation, will ruble payments be allowed or not? We've seen the EU issue 2 sets of guidance on this, and neither one is particularly clear. We did see EU spokesperson Eric Mamer on Tuesday. He came out and said that it would in fact violate sanctions for the buyers to open these accounts at Gazprom Bank that would allow their payments to be converted into rubles. But then the following day, we saw Italian gas giant Eni come out and say that they were opening the account anyway. And when they did that, we saw the price of gas kind of come down as it looked like the tensions were easing. But we should find out shortly, as the deadline is tomorrow. We're going to find out who's paying in rubles and who's not. Either way that this goes, there's going to be some fairly significant implications for the West and for the dollar and for the global economy, because let's say that the EU suddenly adopts a hard line and they claim that these payments do violate sanctions and Russia ends up cutting off the flow of gas. And we know that Russia is willing to do that because they've already cut off the flow of gas to Poland and Bulgaria, as those countries have refused to make these ruble payments. Well, if that happens, we're going to see the price of gas skyrocket in Europe, and that's going to have implications for North America as well, because when those energy prices in Europe skyrocket, that means we're going to start exporting more energy and prices are going to go up here as well. And this is exactly what Jerome Powell warned about at the recent Wall Street Journal live event he spoke at, where he was warning that a reversal of globalization could lead to higher inflation. And that's exactly what this would represent. If Russia stops selling us, the cheap gas that they have, if we're now relegated to whatever gas we can produce in the West, that is a breakdown of globalization, and it will lead to much higher prices. And the real winners there will be countries like India and China, who now will be able to buy all this Russian natural gas at a steep discount because Russia's still going to sell that gas and they're going to have all this excess supply, so they'll just have to sell it at a lower price more than likely. And so that's going to give other countries outside of the West, in the BRICS nations, a tremendous competitive advantage if they get access to all this cheap energy. And then also, if we see that the EU countries all go ahead and they comply with Vladimir Putin's demands and they make these payments in rubles, well, that's a blow against the dollar in a big way. It's a blow against the whole petrodollar system, sort of the cornerstone of the strength of the dollar as the world's reserve currency, or it's at least one of the foundations of that strength. And that's the system whereby the vast majority of international energy transactions over the past 50 years have gotten settled in dollars. So any country that wants to buy oil, they have to go out onto the market and get dollars first, and then they use those dollars to purchase their oil or their energy or what have you. And that creates a lot of demand for dollars around the world, and that, strengthens the dollar. It gives it more buying power. And as we see that trend reverse, I've mentioned the death by 1,000 cuts for the dollar, and this is going to be a pretty nasty cut if we see that paying in rubles or local currencies is now the de facto norm. And that's exactly what Vladimir Putin is playing at. So we're going to find out soon how this is going to play out, as the deadline is tomorrow. Either way that this scenario plays out, it's going to have some fairly negative consequences for Western economies and the dollar. So I think it's an important thing to keep an eye on. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see more developments like this around the world in the coming months and years, where countries begin to accept currencies aside from the dollar, whether it be local currencies, whether it be gold. It doesn't seem like there's anything that is impossible these days. So hopefully we don't see gas get cut off to Europe and a spike in energy prices, because that would be at a very inopportune time, as we're already seeing a lot of pain in Western markets. We're already seeing economies slip into a recession, and an even bigger spike in energy prices than the one we've already seen could really be disastrous for Western economies. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are these buyers going to be able to just pay in rubles, or is there a possibility that Russia cuts off gas to the West? Love to hear what you have to say. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out the other videos that are popping up on your screen right now. Thank you all very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Smart Silver Stacker, out.